I watched my son fall in love with a woman who put her hands around his throat. He stayed. I had to decide how long I would. That's the part nobody tells you about loving a child you didn't give birth to. The limits of what you can do. You can open your home and feed him and sit with him through the nightmares and watch him slowly become a person who can look at himself in the mirror without flinching. And then a woman 6 years older than him can walk in and start dismantling everything piece by piece, and all you can do is answer the phone when he calls. He called me on a Tuesday. He was 20 years old and crying and trying not to sound like he was crying, and told me what she'd done. I said, wait until she's at work, take a day off, pack your things, come here. He said okay. He meant it when he said it. I know that now. He always means it when he says it. That's the thing about him. He's never lied to me once in 6 years, which is why the next part hurt the way it did. He didn't come. He talked to her instead and then called me back and said he'd broken my trust by telling me. Her words in his voice. Recognized them because I'd been listening to the pattern for months. The way her language kept showing up in his sentences, like she was slowly replacing his vocabulary with hers. I said okay. I said okay because there was no other option that kept him talking to me, and keeping him talking to me was the only thread I had. My husband and I didn't sleep much that year. We'd lie in the dark and run through what we knew and what we could do with what we knew, and the answer kept coming back the same. Nothing. You can love someone into safety, or you can try to, but you cannot make them leave. You can only stay close enough that when they're ready, they know where the door is. He came for a visit in the fall. Short visits, careful visits. She monitored his time with us the way you monitor something you're afraid of losing, which I understood even while it made me furious. My daughter cried talking about it at dinner the night he arrived. My husband said what had been accumulating in him for 2 years. I said the thing I'd been saving, the one I decided I had to say once, clearly, and then leave alone, don't give her children. Whatever else you decide, don't do that. He looked at the table when I said it. He knew. That's what's so hard to carry, that he always knew. He's not someone who can't see clearly. He's someone who could yet find his way to the door. There's a difference, and it matters, and I kept telling myself that on the nights when it was hardest to believe. 2 days after he went home, he texted me. Just, I did it. 3 words. I read them standing in the kitchen and sat down on the floor because my legs did something unexpected. And my husband found me there, and I showed him the phone, and he sat down next to me, and we stayed like that for a while without saying anything. And he called later. He said he felt everything at once, sad and free and sick and light, and I said yes, that's exactly right. That's what it feels like when something that was hurting you stops. Your body doesn't know whether to grieve or celebrate, so it does both simultaneously, and it's overwhelming and it passes. He said the texts she sent after were the thing that made him certain. She cycled through every version of herself looking for the one that would work on him, and watching that happen from the outside told him something about the inside that he hadn't been able to see from there. I didn't say I told you so. I want to be clear about that. I had told him so repeatedly across 2 years, but the moment he got out was not the moment for that. The moment he got out was for, I'm proud of you. I'm here. Come home whenever you want. He's in therapy. He's changing his passwords and rebuilding things and doing the slow, careful work of figuring out who he is when he's not being managed by someone else's fear. He calls more. My daughter stops holding her breath when his name comes up. Here is what I know about loving a child who came to you broken. You don't fix them. You can't. You make yourself a consistent place, and you answer the phone and you say the hard thing once and you wait. The waiting is the part that doesn't get talked about. The years of standing at a distance watching someone you love choose the thing that's hurting them because they don't yet have the resources to choose differently, and trusting that the resources are coming, that the work he'd done to get here hadn't disappeared, that it was waiting underneath everything she'd piled on top of it. He sat on our kitchen floor when he was 15 and ate cereal and didn't speak for 2 days, and we let him and he stayed. He's still here. That's the whole story. That's all I ever needed.